Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night wherever you're from. And real quick, before we get started, as always, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' constant generosity and support to me as always. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. If you guys are actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, the loyalty crown badges, you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember, that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking, subscribing, and commenting, everything really does help. So thank you guys so much. And for today's video, we got a bit of a different one. We got a bit more of a serious one that I want to discuss with you guys today. All day yesterday, I was playing the CN version of Nikke, and I have some choice words right now that I want to give you guys. And I want to talk about Shift Up real quick. And first off, I'm just going to say, I'm not going to be defending Shift Up on anything. If you want to defend $1 million company, by all means, go ahead. But in the comments, you know, you're going to look like a clown. I'm just saying. I typically try to be a very positive, voice, especially in the Nikke community. I feel like I'm one of the more naive and positive ones, especially in the CC side of things. But I'm also not dumb, so I know when stuff is unfair and everything, and I have a lot of choice words for today. So let's get started. Let me scoot over and let's put it on screen right here. And right now we're at Sefhi's Twitter because we got some interesting stuff to talk about from the data mine that we found. And first off, there are animated solar rate frames. I know there's a lot of people in my subscriber feed, especially who are sub to this channel, who are definitely people who are competitive, especially for solar raids. People like the meta, right? Well, here is your T4 frame. An animated frame that we don't have after 2.5 years for some reason. Now, in the data mine, it does say tier 4, which makes sense. We have frame 3, so these are frame 4s. Not sure if this is like the top 1% or the top 200, but still, the fact that animated frames are here is kind of depressing and kind of funny when you think about it, that after 2.5 years, CN just kind of gets it. And then also, there's a lot of cute pre-registration titles right now. There's a lot more variety, and to be honest, it already seems a lot more lively than what we already get from just the events and then unit titles and stuff. I like stuff like this, so just the amount of variety is just kind of baffling to me, but it's alright. And one thing that I do want to talk about though, that I thought was interesting, is that resetting Nikke's actually does not cost anything. Right now you're thinking that it costs 10 gems, that's whatever, but in CN, it's free. You don't have to worry about anything. But here's the real kicker with all of this. There are insane kit changes to the point where Admi right now is a meta burst 2, and Epinol is a really good burst 3. There's a lot of reworked kits right now. Now, for me, kits are something that already kind of are a pain in the ass, so I'll leave that to Sefhi, who's already going in and doing the translations and comparing. So if you're interested, look at his Twitter. He is going to be making videos on it, so please go support my friend. I don't know why I said friend like that. I feel like I went country for some reason. My bad. I don't know what happened, but important thing that I do want to talk about that is interesting is that Mustang looks good, okay? Like, Mustang is drippy now, like, holy shit. He is way more drippy. That's insane aura. I'm just saying. Now, these are some of the smaller stuff, right? These are some of the smaller stuff that's going on right now. I want to show you something interesting. We're actually going to be starting Nikke from my desktop, and we're going to actually start right now. I'm actually going to be mid-recording. We are going to do a live opening of Nikke so I can show you the loading time difference. Now, I hope you appreciate my wallpaper. Thank you. Really like that shifty wallpaper. Now, right now, I'm windowed just for the showcase, so I don't have to worry about anything. I will put it in full screen when we're fully in game, but right now, I just want to show you these loading times. Shift up third Nikke Studio, so everything looks normal right now, but then watch this. So, typically, you're waiting here for like a minute. Some people like on mobile wait like 4 minutes. Well, here you go. In less than 15 seconds, Nikke is actually fully loaded and you can actually get into the game starting right about now. So, all of that just to say that our global spaghetti code client needs to be reworked. I'm just saying, I'm not going to be defending that. I'm not going to be trying to give them some slack. They can go in and fix it. They could take the time to try to optimize it more, because that's ridiculous. It's honestly a slap to the face after 2.5 years just to load a client instantly for the launch of the Chinese version of the game. And you know what's more interesting out of all of this? a lot of people were saying, oh, you know, they're getting the quality of life, but they're not getting the fan service. Well, they actually went the snowbreak route. So if you go in the config files and change just 2 digits, that's all you need to do, you get the fan service. People were talking about how bad Mihara looks, Anisa's shirt looks. Well, guess what? It's all here. It's all here. None of the weird, like, CN censorship is here. It's all here. At least on PC, it's decensored because you can actually make that change. So, just saying that not only are they going to be getting quality of life, but they are getting fan service. They are truly having the better version of the game while we were the test beta. Now let's talk about something that I really want to talk about with you guys that I want to know your opinion on. And let's talk about molds. Let's talk about molds. Now this is the item for molds. And you know what's interesting with this? You cannot get any SRs from this. It's impossible. There are no SRs. There's no Rs in here. It's purely SSRs. Now here's the thing. You can lose this mold with quotes because 39% chance to get this shard. Now what is this SSR mold right here? Well, here's the thing. This actual little image right here is actually in our game, in our global client. It's just never used. However, if you get this enough to get the 50, as you can see I'm 24 out of 50, the percentage is a 100% pity mold to give you a guaranteed SSR of your choosing. However, even if you don't get the shards, you get a guaranteed SSR either way. Just think about all the molds that you've opened that you've gotten a Ballorda from. I'm just saying. Like, that's insane. That's insulting as a player who's been playing for 2.5 years, who's a whale at this point, just to get that. And if you're wondering, you know, about voicing your opinion, something that I want to just quickly make like a quick side note about, if you want to do this, you know, go to customer service, voice your frustrations, like Play Store 1-star it, honestly, anything to get their attention, because stuff like this is not okay. I'm gonna be honest. This is not okay. I'm not saying CN shouldn't have this, by the way. Let me make that real clear. CN should be having quality of life. However, we should be getting this as well. After 2.5 years, we deserve it. Now, despite the kit changes, the loading screen, and the molds, I feel like that's really some of the majority stuff. But here's some interesting stuff that I want to bring up to you guys that is just interesting to me. Now, the Battle Pass is actually tiered. And I wanted to know what your guys' thoughts are. Do you guys prefer buying a single pass or tiered? And if you're wondering, what are you talking about? Well, it's different. If you want just the pulls, you can just buy the pulls. But if you want the full version with the skin and stuff and the molds, you can do that. That's insane to me. I like that option. I know some people just don't want to buy the skin because they don't care for it. Some people just want the pulls. Obviously, I just buy it for everything, but the point is that this gives extra options. That's really important. So the fact that we don't have that is crazy to me. I did want to talk about some small stuff that I thought was really kind of cute, interesting, was Tribe Tower. They have this thing that where I literally went to go eat dinner because I was so hungry. But while, you know, Tribe Tower was going, there is this button that you can press in Tribe Tower right here. This button right here, it will automatically go. So while you're playing, right when it finishes, you don't have to click anything. It moves on to the next level. It just keeps on going and going until you lose or you stop it, which is kind of small quality of life, but that's still something that, you know, really helps. I mean, I went to go eat dinner and I came back and I stopped at 30. I didn't have to do anything. Now, something that I did want to talk about that was interesting was my experience with the launch of the game with the freebies. Now, you got a lot of free pulls, okay? I think there was like 70 pulls. There's the launch pulls where you get 10 pulls every day for 10 days. And then they actually changed the system. So I don't have it here right now, but what it was that instead of just getting your guaranteed SSR, you actually were able to spend 3,000 gems to get 20 rerolls. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means you basically get 20 multis and every 5 was guaranteed in SSR. And then you get to save 5 SSRs or just whichever, you know, multi that you want. You can save 5 of them and then choose which one you want to keep. And then you save that pull. That's what you get. That's a lot more generous than what we got at launch. There was rerolling. There was just that one guaranteed SSR, hoping you'd get something. It's crazy how much launch goodies that CN was getting. And why am I saying all this? Does it matter really for freebies? Not really, they deserve to have the best freebies. But what I'm saying is that rerolling system is insane, and new players here on global should have that. That's a lot better than just rerolling once and getting a guaranteed SSR from a roster of like 120. Now, what are some other small stuff that I do want to talk about? I do want to talk about the Synchro device, because I thought the Synchro device was a little bit interesting. Also, it's funny, they get Mog right away, which is kind of cute, but it's weird though, because I feel like that has a lot of story significance, but that's just me, you know, nitpicking. But when we go to the Synchro, remember how back in the Synchro device for us, you actually don't get access to the Synchro device like this, like to use it like the way that we used to use it now for endgame, is actually for beginners. So what that means is that even if you're not at the 160 wall, you don't have to do it individually. You can actually just go in, click this check mark, and then you can just level everybody up individually, and it'll go like boom, 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 which is crazy. And you can plug in the people already into the Synchro. And you know, here's the best part. For a lot of people who don't have room in their Synchro, watch this. If I want to remove someone, there's no timer. There's no cooldown. You can just remove people and put whoever you want back into that Synchro device that you feel needs to be a part of your team without having to worry about like a 5-hour delay, which is crazy. And actually, before I go, one thing that I do want to talk about with you guys is the shop. There are some interesting shop changes that I do want to talk about with you, because I feel like it's really important, and they are some interesting ones. So some of the stuff isn't really changed, right? But you know, there are some characters not here in the game right now. Brid's not here. I believe Rupee's not here. Volume's not here. Noise. There's a lot of characters not in the game. However, they have their shop, so a little interesting. But what I'm trying to say here is that this is the Union shop. Now, what looks a little bit different here to you? Well, the Union shop, you can actually buy Privity here. You can actually get another free character through this version of the Union raid in, you know, CN, which, you know, I feel like that's really useful for a lot of people, just to give that extra option if they want to try to save up, try to break that 160 wall. They actually get the option here with having Privity. You know, right now they don't have the rehab system, for better or worse, because, you know, that system sucks. But right now, at least, they get access to a Privity with the Union raid, which is crazy. With other stuff, you know, it's still kind of like, you know, the same kind of usual stuff, the typical stuff. However, the PvP shop is a lot cheaper for a lot of stuff that you've seen here. However, Holy is actually in the PvP shop, and you can buy her and you can get dupes of her, which, you know, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are about, you know, these improved shops. Let me know, because you know, I'm just the messenger here. Don't get mad at me. But yeah, interesting to see those two changes. But I think that is everything that I wanted to cover when it came to the quality of life, the differences in CN compared to global. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on all of this. I really do want to know. And if you want to try to voice your opinion, remember, head to customer service, rate the game 1 star, make sure that Shift Up knows that your voice is heard. Not going to be defending that, not going to be hearing about it. That's just not me. I love this game and I want this game to succeed. Been with this game for 2.5 years. I'm not going to stop now, but I want Shift Up to make these changes. I want them to, you know, be accountable for this. Not going to be complacent. Let me know where your guys' thoughts are, but that is going to be it from me. I hope you guys have a lovely day, a lovely night wherever you're from. And as always, thank you so much for the constant support. Take care and have a good one.